All right, welcome back to Terrible Fishing. Well, today I'm going to try to put you in a boat for under $1,000, 900-ish, maybe less. We don't know. Let's watch the video. Now, fishing is better when it's out on the water. It just is. When you cast towards the shore and you have more access to the lake or rivers or whatever you got, or even your inlets, you catch more fish. You just do. And it's more enjoyable. And, well, you guys see me. I started this channel with a fold cat, and I got rid of it. I got a kayak until I almost died in my kayak, and then I got another fold cat. Okay, so, all right. Now, the nice thing about a kayak, you can get them in fairly inexpensively, but if you're wonky like me, you kind of can fall out of it. And when I did, it was in freezing water, and you guys know, I almost died. So I got never been in a kayak since. So I went back to my Sea Eagle Fold Cat. Now that's not $1,000. That's a $1,500 boat. And then fitted, it's just a lot more money. But it's stable. And that really is, for me, a pretty big deal to be stable in my boat. And I don't want to fall out of it. I don't want my boat to tip over and lose all my gear like I've done. And you just need to, I don't know, feel safe. And this is important. And it's got to be easy to transport. So it's got to be light enough for me to lift it up into my truck and take it out of my truck. If you have a truck, this is great. But if you have a car with a roof rack, well, that's going to be harder. That's going to take two of you probably, because a boat is going to be about 100 pounds. My boat, my Fold Cat, can be deflated and put in. And we'll talk about that another day. But we're going to talk about I slide mine into the back. It's about a 90-pound boat of my truck. So there are some pretty decent options out there. Now, I will tell you too that when you buy a boat, there are lots of other things that you want to get with your boat. One, you're going to need a life vest. So that's going to cost you about $60 for a life vest. You're going to need a motor, okay, and a battery, a reliable battery, really reliable battery. One that can go all day without interruption, because I have stories. I got stories. So there are some interesting options out on the market today. And at West Marine, they've got a 9.4 foot dinghy. It's a water tender. And this 9.4 foot dinghy is only $599. So this kind of is your ceiling, okay? Because after we add certain things to it, you're going to get up there. This is your ceiling. Is $599, and this is a brand new boat. So there are also things like the Bass Pro Shops or Cabela's, the Bass Pro Shops Pond Prowler. Now that's $799. You're not going to get under $1,000 with a motor and battery at that price. You're just not. But they do have a pedal prowler, a pedal boat with canopy. Okay, so if you're actually on a pond or a small lake, you may think about a pedal boat. Why not? I mean, pedal kayaks are $1,500 on up, And people are pedaling around lakes all the time and ponds. So you could do something, something like that, or a smaller pond prowler. That you could get the pond prowler 8. It's an 8-foot, not a 10-foot, and that's about $629. And you could do something as simple as that. Again, these are very stable boats. The water tender by West Marine, that is a tri-hull design. It's very easy to propel through the water. It's very stable. And again, we're going to try to get this in that sub $1,000 market. Now, the trolling motor. You need a good trolling motor. You just do. And my favorite trolling motor happens to be a Newport. And my trolling motor is a 55-pound thrust. It's got a useless battery indicator on it because I use lithium ion. If you're using a deep cycle battery, that's actually handy. But when you're using lithium ion, which lasts forever, it's useless. But you do have a nice adjustable handle, in and out telescoping and tilting. But that's going to run you $200 for a Newport. And the Newport's going to run $200 for a 55-pound thrust for their X series. So now we're kind of, we're flirting, aren't we? We're at $799. So at $799, we still need a battery, right? And so this is where we need a battery, one that lasts all day long. Now, the brand I have is called Velocity. The brand is. Now, you can get other brands in lithium-ion batteries. I have a 100 amp hour Velocity. So let me see how much their battery is now, because they've come down a lot in price. Yeah, they're down to $235 for a 100 amp hour battery. And this company stands behind their products. They just do. And so we're at 200. We're right now at about 1,050 for a boat, a really good motor, and a fantastic battery. So, but we're too high, aren't we? Now, the nice thing is, on Amazon, there's a $40 coupon on this. So that brings us down to 1,010. Now, again, motors. I've had Minn Kota. I have a Minn Kota, 55-pound thrust. It's a wuss. It's just a wuss. And the Newport just gives me so much more thrust. So, if instead of an X series, which has the tilting handle and the telescoping handle, you could go with their NV series. It's also a saltwater rated motor for $199. Now we're at $199. $199 is $400 on top of the dinghy from West Marine for $599. We are now with a reliable motor that'll last all day long, a 55-pound thrust, a good one, okay? A company that stands behind it, because they swapped mine out once, they were fantastic. And Velocity stands behind their product. And you've got a boat with power propulsion at $997 or so. We're under $1,000. and you can go fishing with a buddy for under $1,000. You know, this boat handles a max capacity of 440 pounds. So the battery only weighs 25 pounds. The motor doesn't weigh very much, about 25 pounds. So there's 50 pounds. So as long as both of you don't add up over 400 pounds, you're pretty good. But this is a 9.4 boat lengthwise. It's very light. You can slide it in the back of your truck, or put it. It's 106 pounds, or two of you can put it up on the roof rather easily. So the kayaks weigh this much. So this actually is a good boat for two people to go out there and enjoy fishing, or just one. I mean, most of the time I fish by myself. So it's just a plenty of deck space, and you can go out there and have a good time. So again, with your boat, I mean, you got to add a motor and battery. That is good. When it comes to your boat, you're really looking at a max $599. And there, unless you want pedal power. If you want pedal power, Bass Pro Shops has that pedal prowler, and where you can fish with a buddy. It's sort of a camo color. It's a pedal boat, but it's got a canopy on it too, for $649. And that boat right there is, well, it's kind of all you need, you know, for a small pond or lake. And you could just take it out there and just have a good old time. So that's just something too, if you want to go beyond, if you're in good shape. I've broken both my legs twice each, so I am not going to do any pedaling. Bad old knees, really bad knees. So hopefully this video kind of gets you out on the water. Now there are other things that you can pursue, and you know, I used to just a single person pontoon boat. Just a single person pontoon boat. You can get one at Sportsman's Warehouse for $279. That's what I started with, and they were easy to row, and you don't need registration on it or anything like that, and you could just take it out there. There are some inflatables. A friend of mine's got the Aquos, and there's an Aquos backpack series you can get from Walmart for $7.99, but again, you need a motor with it. I don't think I would want to paddle that all day long, but a single person where your feet are in the water, you can actually row that, or put your feet up on the foot rests, and just pedal it. I mean, I had a pretty good time with my single person kayak. You get a little wet. But again, you're out on the water having a much better time. So I want you to sort of think about, how do I get out on the water? Now you could go to Facebook Marketplace, find some very affordable options, but and buy a used boat. But you got to be careful. You know, look at the boat, make sure the welds are good, make sure there's no holes in it, and that engine, turn it on and make sure it works. But this is all brand new stuff. Newport engine, 55-pound thrust, which is what I use. A Losagy 100 amp hour battery, which lasts you all day long, and that water tender dinghy from West Marine. So that actually is a pretty good little setup, and you're looking at good service by every one of those companies. So I want you guys to sort of, you know, hopefully this video helps, and we'll talk about a little bit more on other boat options too, especially kayaks. I know everybody's into kayaks, But and ICAST just finished, and you seen what I said about what is a kayak? It ain't a mini skiff. So take care, everybody. We'll see you in our next video.